Hi guys, how are you today? It's an exciting day on the farm because we are about to go from October to November, and I think my nice little buckskin right there, I think is ready to have a foal here for us. So when we change over, I'm sitting here, I got the camera ready, want to get a picture of the new baby. If we get to see it. I mean, for all I know, we come back in and it's already standing there, but at least we'll have known it happened. I missed the first two foals. I was way across the field on some other horse, and it was like, oh no, I have babies. I was cheated. There's one there, and there's one laying down. So is the one laying down the mommy or the baby? I don't know.
The answer is yes.
Age, this is the baby. We have a new baby. Oh, look at my darling little foal. Daw.
Little full-sized horse.
Well, okay, but it's still just look at that little face. Oh, hello,
I pity
sweetie.
the poor mommy horse that had to push that out.
It was Nacho over here. Oh my goodness. It's my baby. Aw. Toots adorbs, guys. You know it. It's beautiful. Early morning on the farm and the miracle of new birth. Oh my goodness. So they tend to come in with their own names. I guess this is it. This is Kirby, which is actually a pretty cool name. I like Kirby. And I love buckskins. I may end up keeping Kirby as my pet horse. I don't know. I haven't picked one yet. That's going to be the one that I just keep around till it dies of old age.
I'm just saying, but Kirby starts with a K. We need another Khan.
Aw, they have a pony. It's just laying there, just like, life is, I'll get up later. I'm just a baby. I am not ready to deal with all of this stuff in life just yet. Not just yet. My new puppy, my new foal. Oh, goodness.
Yes, doctor, she says she's hearing ducks, and she's also thinking that horses are dogs.
It's confusing, yo. It's just laying there. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Oh, my little baby. I didn't get it standing up. I was too slow. Hello, sweetie. There you go. Oh, they were together. Look. Mother and baby. I wish they'd get together on the other side with the sun on them. So, yeah. I'm going to have to wait for how long now to get the right screenshot. Come on over here. Come on, Kirby. That's it. Come on, Kirby. You can do it, Kirby. No. Come on. I'd love to get these two buckskins together. There's got to be a way. Hey, sweetie. Aren't you pretty? The new baby. Oh, I do like this game. Okay, so while Kirby tries grazing for the first time. Oh, I thought Nacho was heading over, but no. Come on over here. That's right. Come to me, darling. Come to me, baby. Come on. That's a good girl. Come on, lady. Look at the creepy necks on these when they graze, though. Put your head up there, sunshine. Nothing? I can't poke you out of it? Nope. Oh, well. I'll get pictures at some point. Oh, aren't you pretty? Okay, well, the baby's born. We got to see the miracle of life. And now we have to harvest some sunflowers, don't we?
Yes, another type of grazing must be done.
Another type of grazing. Absolutely.
Large-scale mechanized grazing.
Do we have a header on this thing?
No, the header's behind it.
The header's the red one.
Yeah, under the overhang. Well, both our headers are red.
But it's
the one
the
under
one
the shed overhang
yeah.
we need.
Chug, chug. Come on there. Oh, and I'm going to need to fuel up. Well, probably not, but... Woo!
I would recommend fueling up first, because the header makes it really hard to get to the fuel tank.
Oh, I had no doubt that's the way it was going to happen. I just forgot that we'd moved the fuel tank. I was coming over here to do it. Can I get through that with this? Can I get
yeah.
through here? If you aim right, you can get through
It's a
here?
bit of a tight squeeze, but yes.
Squeeze, it's fine. You can do this. Got it. Okay. And we need to fuel up. Do it.
It is fueling, but that's a big tank.
Wow, I was about to say it's going really slow. Holy cow. Chug, chug. How do we fill this fuel tank?
Either you just buy the fuel at the tank,
Oh,
which
perfect.
means you pay a bit extra, or you get a trailer specially designed to get fuel and you drive over to the gas station, fill it up there, then drive here.
You know, I'm a big believer in inconvenience.
Me too, so that works out well.
There's some things you do in life because they're fun and you do them the hard way and it's fine. There are other things that just need to get done. And those, you just need to get them done. Okay, just get on with it. It's like, yeah, I can haul this or I can just pay. I'm just paying. So if you're new to this game, in this particular version, chickens are a good way to make money if you don't mind handling crates and having to haul them around. It's not one of my favorite parts of the game. I'll just say it that way. It's just not one of my favorite parts of the game. But we found that if you can, now it takes $750,000. Those big wind turbines in the back, each one of those are $750,000. So it takes either, you're going to make some money and then take out a big honking loan, a $500,000 loan or something, after you've made $300,000 or so to put down your first one. But they make nice money. They do really, really well. And then they're just there. They're just there and the cash is coming in. We are looking at, where are we here? This is what, now this isn't just the wind turbines. We do have some solar panels as well. And that's probably the first place to start, with just kind of bringing in some automatic money, because the solar panels do okay as well and they're much, much cheaper to buy. But you can see here in October we made over $300,000, and that's with the solar panels. And we have a few and 7 wind turbines. So we've just got sort of a steady income now, and you don't really have to worry too much about, oh my goodness, I've got to feed my horses and I don't have hay money. I have run into that situation in this game, so in the early days anyway. Is that going to line up enough to... No. Come on, little one. Coochie, coochie, get in there. Close and close. There we go. Gotcha.
Clunk.
Yeah, it looked heavy. The whole vehicle just kind of took a wobble there. Am I gonna be able to turn that? Yes, I can. And I'm gonna go down and start at the other end. It seems like it's tidier. It works better.
Entirely up to you. You're in the harvester.
Yeah, I like to start on a proper corner. It just seems easier to get everything lined up and functioning well. And then I can let the AI do its due. Enable straw swath. We don't do that with any. We don't need any straw at all, do we? Like we've got.
No, and
we
that
just
doesn't
sold
work
off.
with the sunflowers anyway.
Okay. Because we just got rid of a bunch, I think, right? Because we just had too darn much to deal with anymore.
Given that we've still got 189,000 liters of straw sitting around, I think we'll be okay.
We'll be fine for a little while. Okay. Now we have to unfold it, one supposes. Look at all the little thingies pop up. Isn't it cute? It flowers. Look on top. It just has a little flower. It's so cute. Now the other day with my AI, if I didn't have this sucker lined up perfectly, it just went hauling diagonally across the field. It was quite irritating, I'll be honest. So let's turn this baby on and hire a person. And I missed some. I missed the one row Well, we'll go back and get those when we get back to the other end. You know, the AI workers are pretty good. They do save you a lot of time. You can get multitasking. You can get a big field like this, get one thing started, bring up another one behind it, bring up another one behind it. It's all great. But they are dumb as stumps. I had one the other day. When it was finished, it drove out into the road, ran into a car, and then just parked there. Another one parked trying to climb up the wind turbines in the back. I've got screenshots of it. Had just looked like it tried to drive right up on the thing and park. That was nice. It's like, good job, dude. You're just talent. So much talent. But ain't it pretty? A little farm in autumn. I'm loving this game.
I've decided to swap the color on my suit. Time for a change up.
Really? You're not going to be shiny green? You'll have to come and give us a bit of a fashion show and let us see what you've done then. I change clothes with every season in here. As soon as it turns December, I put a big warm coat on. Oh, now you're all shiny yellow.
One chem suit fits all.
Rhino in real life is an engineer who... Oh, look, and he missed more at the start. This one was not my fault either. But he's an engineer who actually works with materials and substances that he has to dress like this on occasion. So...
The one upside is I don't have to wear the breathing mask. We just have a splash hood on.
Let me get out of the way of that. And off you go there, little one. Are we going to plant to these two small fields this year, or just leave them? Yeah, I know, right? It's like, well, let's see how the harvest goes. Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, we could put more sunflowers in them. It's not that we don't need the oats per se this year.
No,
We've
we
got
don't.
34,000 liters of oats.
Oh, that's going to last for a while, yeah. Actually, how are the horses? How are the barns doing? A little straw.
I refilled them in September.
They have no hay. One has hay, one does not. Okay. Let's get something over there. Because the one without hay is our breeding barn, so that's not good.
That would be a problem.
It's not ideal, that's for sure. Oh no, wrong button. Wrong button. Other side, go down with the mouse if you want to go up. Because that makes all the sense.
It makes complete sense to some.
Oh, totally. And we will start filling that with hay. Whoops. Too soon, but it worked. Well, harvest is going anyway. Man, sometimes there are people who have a single person playing a farm in here, and I don't know how they keep up. It gets really kind of hectic sometimes. I mean, we've got it set for one day is the month. Oh, now you said, okay, wait, I'm off topic here. I don't have to go in. You're saying I don't actually have to drive in to get the hay to go?
I'm not sure how it works with that scoop. With the trailer?
Yeah.
I mean, give it a go, see what happens.
And if not, then I've got a big
back
mess. I suppose. Okay, it seems to be disappearing. Did it go in? It did? Whoa. All the time that I have opened the door, I drive all the way in. Have you got hay in that? This isn't going for the big guns, folks. Get out of the way and watch. And we've got enough oats to be okay. You could fill it with hay, I guess.
Well, this is straw, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you're doing the straw anyway. Okay. We like to keep a balance of oats and hay at a certain place. The horses seem to health up better. But the straw just needs to be filled. Yeah, I was saying, when you're in here playing the game alone, and you've got harvest coming up, and then you're trying to get ready for the next planting, of course, and you're harvesting and you're mulching here and you're spraying there and you're weeding here, and it's just bam, 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 bam. There's like so much going on. It's pretty wild. And then you feeding the horses and getting them out to ride that day, and then coming back, and you've got some AI. Every once in a while you get just a really bad day for the AI system, and they're just making mistakes like crazy, and they can't turn around, and you're going from field to field, turning this one around, getting them going to the next one, turning it around, going back again. It starts to feel really hectic, oddly enough, for a game that's putting along,
hectic, I can get the AI to start mulching the fields that have been
yes,
that had the oats.
That's what I was heading for when I remembered my horses needed food. Brilliant.
And
do it.
I will also start driving a trailer alongside the harvester.
There we go. There's never a shortage, which is not true. We have months where it's like you ride the horses and you got nothing to do. It's like, well, I'm going to go plant some trees and put more flowers in. Because I can if I want to.
The game does suffer from hurry up and wait a lot.
Yes, there's a lot. Just like real farming, oddly enough. That needs a few more oats. I'm going to put more oats in, and then I can fill it with hay. Just like real farming. Hurry up and wait. There's always a really nice period for me in September when I had the horses. The hay was in, the oats were in, the big heavy work of hauling and stacking bales of hay and all of that stuff was over. Kids had gone back to school, so almost all of the riding classes and stuff were completed for the year. I mean, there was always a few that people rode into other times of the year, but for the most part things had gotten pretty quiet, and then September would hit, and you'd have these beautiful clear days and blue skies and cool nights. So all the bugs were gone. There were no more, mosquitoes or black flies to worry about, because it was usually cold enough at night to kill everything. And I just got to ride horses. I'd have a month where I would camp out and ride and hike and ride, and it was just glorious. And then, of course, the snow starts, and you're having to shovel all the time. And you've got all these horses that need exercising in the snow, and it's like, oh my goodness. But September was heaven. September was so nice.
I don't know what you're talking about with the snow being a problem, because you could just buy an attachment for your tractor.
Well, I had an attachment for my tractor, and I used to go out into the field and actually, let me stop this and see what we have here. Perfect. A little more. And plow a path so I could actually ride, because the snow gets quite deep and the horses can't get out in it. But then you've got to take care of that. And I'm talking about, a mile of path. It wasn't like I was just doing a driveway. And then you had to keep it cleared, but then it, would get icy, and then you've got to break it up, and yeah. And you're hauling, you're cleaning out from underneath 16 horses. In the summer, you can put them out a lot, so you don't have as much shoveling to do and stalls to muck out. But in the winter, they're indoors unless you've got them out, getting exercise for something. You do a lot of shoveling.
I'm just saying, it sounds like you weren't using your snowplow to the full extent it could have.
The tractor was way too big to get in the barn.
Then your barn just isn't big enough, Ava.
Well,
come on.
It had 16 horses and enough hay for all of them in the winter time. It was all the saddle. I mean, it was not a little barn, but yeah, no, I couldn't have gone. You can't get in a stall with a tractor. You've got a 12 by 12 area with a door that's big enough for a horse to get through. You're not getting into a stall with a tractor.
Honestly, that just sounds like a challenge.
to an engineer, I'm sure it does. And you know what? There might be automated robots doing that kind of thing these days.
I mean, have you seen the cow robot?
I've heard about the stuff for cows, but I've not heard about them for horses. I've been into a lot of very nice barns in my life. I haven't seen any automated with robots. People tend to like their horses enough, they want to be there, in person sort of thing. It just sounds like a challenge. Of course it does. Ah, goodness. But Septembers were always really nice. Septembers were that's my month. Oh, man, I loved it. Oh, I loved it. It was a good life.
So here's the thing. I'm going to take the little electric tractor, mount the snowplow on it, and then see if I can get it into the stable.
You can, but I didn't have anything little like that. And that stuff a little tiny tractor like that is not going to haul through 4 feet of snow.
No, but it is going to haul through, I hope, not 4 feet of horse poop.
No, I mucked out twice a day. And if the horses were in because the weather was really bad, then in the afternoon I did it again. So, yeah.
You don't have to use the same tractor for the snow as you do the horse poop.
No,
Just
I only had the one
implement at the
tractor.
front.
I could only afford the one tractor. It was a big SOB, but I could only afford the one tractor.
Did you not have like turbines or something on your fields?
No, I wish. That would have been really cool. I had bears. No turbines, just bears.
I've heard a bear is not quite as conducive to power generation as a wind turbine
No,
is.
they weren't. Oddly enough, they weren't. But there was a lot of them. I mean, you're in the country in northern Ontario, and this sounds really strange to me now, but it was true. There was the barn, and sort of the main area, and there was a corral out back for letting the horses out and stuff like that. But the main field, a big field that I had, it was sort of like I had to walk a ways. It would be like leaving the barn, and I kind of had to walk across the top of this ridge, and then the field kind of sort of sloped down like this one right here in front of me does. With the hill up there is where the gate was, and then there was a 10-acre meadow that sloped down to a center spot where there was a little stream, and I had a pond dug out. But at the top I had a round training circle. It was a ring, but it was just round. So I could it's something called lunging, and it was just done free without equipment and stuff, with just me and the horse in there. So it worked out quite well, but then the meadow was down below that. And I had a little shed beside it where I kept various tack, leads and stuff like that for training the horses with. Still a little more there. So but I used to keep a gun in there all the time. Like, I brought a loaded gun out every morning and hauled it in with me at night. I had a rifle that I kept out there. Not to shoot at a bear, but to make noise and scare them off.
Right. That's what you say now.
Oh, no. I've hunted bear, and I've eaten a lot of bear, but I would have never shot at a bear with my horses out there. And me alone at night, never. Because if I didn't kill it the first time, I'd have been in all kinds of shit. No. You just shoot it off to the side somewhere, and the noise will scare it off. But a wounded bear is the last thing I needed on my property. No, thank you. Oh, goodness.
Well, the fields are being mulched, and the sunflowers are being harvested.
I see. Lots of fun things. All the tractors everywhere. Man, all this time I was going, oh, I missed. No! I made a mess. Shite. Okay, other one down to go up and up to go down, because that makes all the sense in the world. Damn it. No, don't do it again. Oh, that one goes in fine, though. Of course it does. There we go. And you go this way. Is that going to be flat enough? It doesn't feel like it, does it? There, maybe? Can we get this picked up? Yeah, no problem. All good. I seem to be just pushing it along now. How come? Look at that. Look at that. It's running away from me. Okay, we'll come
Then
back.
either your scoop is full or it's not quite low enough to the ground.
Well, it picked up most of it. I'm at 88%, but... Okay, let's see if we can't do this again. There we go. And then we'll go try to get this thing here again. Okay, so down to go up. And down some more. And we'll go find our wayward pile. There we go. Okay, so how's that barn doing? It's still not quite full, oddly enough. But it's close enough, I guess. Oh, there is just, look, right there at the edge. Here's just a little bit more. Do you see that? I didn't quite get all of it. Ooh. No. Down that way. There you go. Can we get this? Try again. Okay, it's not flat enough, I guess. But that was good stuff. And down to go up. I have to think every time I need to go up, so bring the mouse down. And that's full now. Good job. And all the little tractors running. Isn't it beautiful? That is so. Look at this across those golden fields in the fall, and all the tractors are running. And oh, it's just lovely. So pretty. And you don't have all the hay sticking to you like in real life. Oh, goodness. Oh, it's miserable. I hate haying. Oh, I hate haying so much. It's never as much fun as you might imagine.
Why would you get out of the tractor when you're haying?
Because okay, so I would lease a field that somebody else would plant, and then I would pay for the crops on the field, and then I would like rent their equipment. So somebody's in the tractor and you're cutting, and then you're going through in the tractor again to turn the hay and put it into piles and all that stuff, and that's all mechanized. That's fine. But then you have this machine that goes over and starts spitting out bales. And unfortunately for me, I always had to then, you had another tractor with a trailer, like a flatbed trailer behind it, and somebody was driving that. So somebody's doing the bales, somebody's driving another tractor, and then us poor sucker, because you couldn't hire somebody to do what I had to do, because nobody wanted that job. I'll drive the tractor for this or that, but I ain't doing that. So I'm walking along behind with the people that actually worked for me year round, and we're picking up the bale and tossing it onto the trailer, and then somebody's standing on the trailer and taking it and stacking it.
You didn't have one of those little machines that scoop up the bales and automatically makes neat piles for you?
No, I've never had one of those. So every single bale come off that thing by hand and got tossed onto the trailer where somebody else picked it up and stacked it. When the trailer was full, then we all get on and we trundle off home, and we park it by the barn, and we do it in reverse, where the guy on the trailer is throwing a bale down and we're all picking it up and hauling it to the right spot, and somebody else is stacking it at that end. It was fun times. And it's hot, right? This is... And it's all the little hay, all the things stick to you. And we did this for hay, and there was a few years that I had to use straw. I hate straw for bedding. I always liked wood chips. Wood chips were awesome.
Imagine unironically doing manual labor when it could be mechanized.
It sounds good, but I didn't know anybody, there weren't any farmers around that had that sort of thing. Most of these guys were doing, they were doing oats for straw, or, they were doing hay, but they were doing it for cattle. Not all of them, because some of them realized you could make a lot of money with bales of hay for horses, because it's quite expensive. But, a lot of these farmers were saying, well, I normally just do it for cows, so it's just a great big round bale, these big things that are the size of a house,
right.
you know, and then they just sit in the field, and you just put the cow out with them, and the cow goes and eats them, kind of thing. I don't know, like they would just sit in the field over the winter till the cows went to eat them. But it's quite different from horses, so when you paid for the guy to do the horse stuff, he didn't have the equipment for that. He could plant different hay, because we generally wanted a better hay than cows get, but there weren't any people around that specifically created hay for horses on a regular basis. So it is what it is. So you got really strong and tough. You had great big honking calluses on your hands.
Consider spending 20 grand on an automatic stacking machine.
Yeah. But then sometimes you got years where people went, well, somebody else already bought it, I can't do that for you, and you've got this equipment just sitting around doing what? It really wasn't no.
Not being paid wages.
I didn't have $20,000 to spend on something that I might use 2 times every 3 or 4 years, so it wasn't going to happen. If I'd have had that much money, I'd have bought another horse. Let's be
Your
honest.
priorities are wrong, Ava.
It was only once a year. And some years you couldn't find that. You couldn't make those deals. Sometimes it just wasn't available, so you just had to buy the hay in bales, and that would be delivered. You still had to stack it at that end, but it was a lot easier. Anyway. So this is harvest time, folks. And it's beautiful, right? Look at this. This is gorgeous. Man, I like the way this looks so much. So pretty. And I'm going to go now. Another day on the farm. Oh, goodness. With an old-fashioned farming kind of head person and an engineer going, buy a bigger thing. Sometimes I feel like we're like the Odd Couple, or I don't know, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis or something. I'm just not sure which is which. Anyway, yes. Anyway, guys, I'm going now. Thank you for being around. Thank you for your kindness, your support, viewing, follows, thumbs up, lovely comments. You are appreciated. Bye-bye.